Not celebrating your birthday isn't always a red flag. Sometimes it's the opposite. Because for a lot of birthday avoiders, the real flex is this. You don't outsource meaning to a single day. You don't wait for the yearly dopamine spike. You don't need the room to stop and clap. Research links this to low temporal landmark dependence. Basically, you don't need a reset button to feel like yourself, which sounds small, but it changes how you handle praise, aging, and social pressure in every part of your life. Have you ever noticed that some people don't just skip their birthday party? They act like the day has zero power over them? No big speech, no make-a-wish. They just keep moving like it's any other date on the wall. Imagine it's your birthday. Your phone starts buzzing. A cousin wants dinner. A coworker says, "What are we doing?" And you feel that weird pressure to perform happiness on schedule. You're supposed to be excited. You're supposed to post something. You're supposed to prove you're loved. Most people read your calm face and fill in the blank. You must be lonely. You must be sad. You must be going through something. But that story doesn't fit a lot of birthday downplayers at all. A bunch of them have friends, jobs, partners, the whole thing. They just don't want the day to drive their mood. So you zoom out and you look at the pattern. Psychologists call this internal locus of control. Simple meaning, you feel like your choices steer your life more than outside forces do. Not luck, not fate, not, "It's my day, so I should feel a certain way." You decide what matters, and then you act on it. You see it in how you plan your week. You don't wait for the right vibe. You don't need a crowd to approve it. You don't need a date to give you permission. You book the dentist because it's time. You start the class because you're ready. You say no to plans because you're tired. Now add a second piece that research talks about when it comes to motivation. Psychologists call it the fresh start effect. The idea is that certain dates feel like a clean slate, so you get a little boost to chase goals. New year, new month, even a birthday. But some people don't run on those markers. Psychologists call this low temporal landmark dependence. Plain version, you don't need a reset day to do the thing. Think about what that actually means. You change a habit on a random Tuesday. You stop texting someone back because it's not good for you, not because it's January 1st. You start walking after dinner because your knees hurt, not because you turned a new age. Your brain doesn't wait for the bell to ring. And that's why the birthday dopamine spike can feel pointless. If your mood is built on daily inputs, one hyped-up day can feel fake. Sleep, work, food, time alone. A small talk with one person you trust. Those are the knobs you turn. So when everyone tries to crank one big knob called birthday energy, it doesn't land. Sometimes it even backfires. Because birthdays are also a temporal landmark, and landmarks come with scorekeeping. How old are you now? Where should you be by now? Who showed up? Who didn't? Even if nobody says it out loud, you can feel the pressure in the air. And if you're the kind of person who gets stressed by age-based checklists, skipping the ritual is a clean way to protect your headspace. But here's the thing. This isn't you being cold. This is you being steady. This wasn't, "I don't care about anyone." It was, "I don't want my self-worth tied to a calendar prompt." You can still care deeply and just not want the day to run you. So the payoff is pretty simple. What it actually means to have a high internal locus of control is that you don't outsource meaning to the calendar. Your self-worth doesn't rise and fall with one big day. If it's a good year, you know why. If it's a hard year, you know what you can do next. Which brings us to the part that makes birthdays feel actively uncomfortable for a lot of people, even when their life is fine. There is something different about the moment everyone turns and looks at you. The singing starts, the cameras come up, and you can feel your face doing that polite smile thing. On paper, it's nice. People show up, they say kind stuff, you get a cake. So why does your body act like it's a job interview? Because a lot of birthday rituals are performative. They're built for the group, not for you. You're not really connecting. You're hosting a scene. Think about it. You're standing there while everyone waits for the right reaction. Your mirror neurons pick up all that expectation fast. You sense the eyes, the pause, the phones held up like little spotlights. And now you're managing your face, your hands, your tone. Not because you're fake, because you're trying to make it comfortable for everyone else. Psychology helps here. You're dealing with social stimulation load. That's the total hit of noise, attention, praise, and closeness coming at you all at once. Some people have a higher threshold for that kind of stimulation. They light up under it. Others hit overload fast, even if they like the people in the room. So your brain does what it always does when the input is too high. It scans, it tightens, it starts running little checks. Where do I look? When do I laugh? How long do I hold eye contact? It's not fear, it's bandwidth. Now layer in public validation. If you have a low need for public validation, the classic birthday setup backfires. The more people clap, the less real it feels. Not because the love is fake, but because the format is loud and generic. It's like getting a mass email that starts with "Dear valued customer." And think about what that actually means. Compliments aren't always pleasure. Sometimes they're a demand. You're supposed to react in the right way. Gratitude, surprise, joy, on cue. If you miss the cue, you look ungrateful. If you overdo it, you look fake. So your executive function kicks in and starts trying to thread the needle. That's why some people prefer settings where the focus is spread out. A group hang where you can blend in. A dinner where the talk moves around the table. You still get warmth. You just don't get the spotlight. You also start preferring private signals of care. A real text that shows they know you. Not HBD, but something like, "I saw this and thought of you." A one-on-one coffee where nobody's watching you react. Help with something you actually need, like a ride, a form you've been putting off, a meal when you're wiped. Research shows this lines up with a lower need for social dominance too. You're not trying to be the main character in the room. You want connection, not control. And when a ritual forces you into the center, it can feel less like love and more like a role. This is also why the gift opening part can feel gross. Not because gifts are bad, because it turns friendship into a scoreboard. Who got what? Who spent more? Who brought a card? Who posted a story? And if you're modest by nature, praise can land as embarrassment. Psychologists link that to modesty bias. You deflect, you downplay, you make a joke. Not because you can't take a compliment, but because being seen that hard feels like being exposed.